ran this guy's life with total control for all those years. We should be a step ahead of him. You want to go home? Find Jason Bourne.
So picture this. If Matt Damon jumps back into the Bourne universe for Jason Bourne 6, it's like a full circle moment, right? And guess who would make the perfect baddie? None other than one of Damon's longtime creative buddies. Oh, and here's another twist. They might just bring back Jeremy Renner's character Aaron Cross too. So let's dig into what's cooking with Jason Bourne 6. Universal is pulling out all the stops to make Bourne 6 a reality, and they're aiming to bring back none other than Matt Damon himself. Talk about a risky move, right? But hey, when you've got a franchise as legendary as Bourne, you've got to take some risks to keep the excitement alive. I mean, this franchise has been a major player in the action movie game since the 2000s, raking in over $1.6 billion at the box office with its first 5 films. So when rumors start swirling about Bourne 6 being in the works, it wasn't exactly a shocker. Now, we don't have all the juicy details about Bourne 6 just yet, but we do know that Edward Berger, the director behind All Quiet on the Western Front, is leading the creative charge. And while fans are crossing their fingers for Damon's return, it's not set in stone just yet. I mean, after 2016's Jason Bourne, it seemed like Damon was hanging up his Bourne hat for good. But let me tell you, once Bourne 6 hits theaters, it's going to be off the charts in terms of excitement. Universal's betting big on this one, banking on it being a major hit. Sure, it's a risky move, but sometimes you have to shake things up to keep the magic alive. And trust me, Bourne 6 is going to do just that. Jason Bourne 6 sounds like it's shaping up to be quite the blockbuster. If you haven't caught up on what went down in the previous flick, let me fill you in. Jason Bourne is a 2016 action thriller directed by Paul Greengrass and written by Greengrass and Christopher Rouse. It's actually the 5th installment in the Bourne film series and serves as a direct sequel to the Bourne Ultimatum from 2007. Matt Damon reprises his role as the badass former CIA assassin Jason Bourne, and he's not alone. This film also features a star-studded cast including Tommy Lee Jones, Alicia Vikander, Vincent Cassel, Riz Ahmed, Ato Essandoh, Scott Shepherd, and Julia Stiles, who's back as Nikki Parsons. Now, you might be wondering about Aaron Cross from the Bourne Legacy. Well, he's not in this one. Director Greengrass wanted to keep the focus squarely on Bourne himself, and Jeremy Renner, who played Cross, couldn't make it due to scheduling conflicts. In Jason Bourne, our main man Bourne is still dodging CIA hit squads while digging into some deep family secrets. Meanwhile, CIA Director Robert Dewey, played by Tommy Lee Jones, is pulling out all the stops to track him down, with cybersecurity expert Heather Lee, played by Alicia Vikander, hot on his tail. Principal photography for the film kicked off in September 2015, and it premiered in London in July 2016 before hitting theaters worldwide later that month. While it received mixed reviews from critics, it still pulled in a whopping $415 million at the box office. So, yeah, the Bourne series definitely knows how to bring the action and keep us on the edge of our seats. Now, as for how the plot of Jason Bourne unfolds, 12 years have passed since Jason Bourne blew the lid off the Blackbriar operation. Now, he's been living under the radar in Greece, making ends meet as a street fighter. Meanwhile, Treadstone technician Nikki Parsons gets her hands on some classified CIA files that shed light on Bourne's past and his father's involvement in the program. Parsons heads to Greece to share the information with Bourne, but things take a dark turn when they're both targeted by the CIA. Enter Heather Lee, head of the CIA's cybersecurity division, and CIA Director Robert Dewey. They're hot on Bourne's trail, along with a ruthless ex-operative known as the Asset. Parsons is fatally wounded in an ambush, but not before passing crucial information to Bourne. Determined to uncover the truth about his family and his past, Bourne heads to Berlin and teams up with a hacktivist to decrypt the files. As Bourne digs deeper, he learns that his father was more deeply involved in Treadstone than he ever knew. It turns out Bourne's dad was trying to protect him from becoming a CIA assassin. But before Bourne can piece everything together, he's hunted down by the CIA and forced into a deadly game of cat and mouse. Things come to a head in Las Vegas, where Bourne discovers Dewey's sinister plan to use a social media platform for mass surveillance and targeted assassinations. With Lee's help, Bourne takes down Dewey and confronts the Asset in a brutal showdown. In the end, Bourne emerges victorious, but not before leaving a cryptic message for Lee, hinting at his next move. Bourne 6's announcement signals a groundbreaking moment for the franchise, as it's poised to break its own record for the longest gap between sequels. With Jason Bourne hitting theaters back in 2016, we're already 8 years deep into this hiatus, surpassing any previous gaps in the series. Whether Bourne 6 drops tomorrow or 20 years from now, it's a record set in stone. But this prolonged absence poses a crucial test. Just how much love do audiences still hold for Bourne? In Hollywood, 8 years might as well be a lifetime, especially in an era where sequels are often churned out like clockwork every couple of years. The landscape of action movies has shifted too, with franchises like John Wick redefining the genre. The question now is whether Bourne can still stand tall amidst these changes. Despite the risks, Universal seems to be betting big on Bourne 6's success. And they might have good reason to. Jason Bourne, despite its mixed reviews, proved to be a box office heavyweight, becoming the second highest grossing film in the franchise. It's a glimmer of hope that suggests audiences are still hungry for Bourne's brand of action, even after all these years. Perhaps Universal is banking on this extended hiatus to drum up even more anticipation for Bourne 6's release. After all, the longer the wait, the sweeter the comeback. But the success of Bourne 6 ultimately hinges on its ability to deliver the goods, and only time will tell if it can live up to the lofty expectations. Now, we just have to wait and see if Bourne 6 becomes a reality. Bourne 6 has the potential to inject fresh energy into the Jason Bourne franchise, but there's one crucial element it can't afford to overlook: the return of Jeremy Renner's Aaron Cross. Matt Damon's portrayal of Jason Bourne catapulted him to action movie stardom back in 2002 with The Bourne Identity, kicking off a gripping saga of espionage and identity unraveling. When Damon stepped away from the franchise, Renner took the reins in 2012's The Bourne Legacy, offering fans a parallel narrative centered on Cross, another lethal operative tangled up in the web of covert organizations. While Damon eventually returned for 2016's Jason Bourne, Bourne 6 has faced its own set of challenges getting off the ground. But to truly hit its mark, the film needs Renner's Aaron Cross back in action. Renner's performance in The Bourne Legacy faced the daunting task of filling Bourne's shoes, and he did so admirably, bringing a unique blend of physicality and intensity to the role. Despite the slow progress of Bourne 6's development, the formula for success seems clear: Damon and Renner facing off against each other and against the shadowy forces that have defined their lives. It's a recipe for excitement, suspense, and the kind of high-octane action that fans have come to expect from the Bourne franchise. Now, it's just a matter of making it happen. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below.